Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and today we're gonna do a Q&A video all about my small business. So I own a small business named Nahnah's, and I sell my stuff on Etsy if you guys don't already know. I have my Etsy, I think, linked somewhere in my YouTube, but if not, you can follow me on Instagram. That's linked below. So I asked these questions on Instagram, and I got some of these questions from my friends, my family members, my boyfriend, and I'm just gonna answer them for you guys today. So the first question is from my friend Sarah. What made you decide on the name Nahnah's? When I was growing up, I had a nickname basically since I was born, I'm pretty sure. My aunt gave me a nickname, Nahnah. When I was planning on doing this and coming up with an Etsy name, coming up with an Instagram name, just kind of like a business name, I was thinking at the time that I wanted to have my name connected, but not so obvious. What I mean by that, a lot of people that I see on Etsy or just like who have their own businesses, it's their name and kind of what they do, or it's like, I'm just gonna use my name for example, Hannah & Co. or Hannah's Creations or something like that. And I really didn't want something like that because I was thinking that if this ever were to go anywhere, I want a name of my store. And I felt like Nahnah was kind of just the perfect name because it is my name, but not really. And I think it's just a really cool, different name for a business. So that is why I chose Nahnah's as my name. The next question is, who inspired you to start your own business? And that was from one of my cousins. So thanks, AJ. I'll give you like a little bit of a backstory and then it'll go into this. So I went to school in Maryland. So I left obviously when I was 18. I graduated high school, had the summer, left that August to go to Maryland, moved there, went to school there for 4 years, graduated, came home in 2023, right before that summer. It was really hard because I also left New Jersey with a totally different life. I was still living at home with both my parents here, and coming back, I had 2 houses now that I was going back and forth between. Really for like the first time, you know, I came home for holidays, I came home so many times like in the summer, but when I actually moved back home, it was just really different. I had a full-time job right after school. It was just really hard. It was a lot. I didn't really have any more of my friends around, which I didn't because all my friends pretty much stayed back at school. I know this is like not really a big detail, but it kind of is to me. So my childhood dog also died that summer after coming back from school. So I didn't have her at my mom's house. So it was just like really weird. And I just didn't feel like I had my routine down after coming back home. I just felt very chaotic and I felt like I needed something. And I am a pretty creative person. I like doing arts and crafts. I love Pinterest. I was thinking about getting maybe a Cricut, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, oh, like if you want one, I'll get you that for Christmas or like your birthday or something. I was buying so many sweatshirts and sweatpants. My mom was like, you know, if you get your Cricut, you can start making things and selling them, and you can sell it on somewhere like Etsy where you don't have to have your own website at first. The more I thought about it, the more I really wanted to do it and felt like it could give me something to do and it would just be fun. That's kind of just how Nahnah started. So it wasn't really like one person who inspired me to start a small business. It just kind of turned into that. And so I guess like my mom definitely was like a driving force in it. Just kind of like grew bigger from there. So the next question is for my mom. Where do you get your ideas from? It's so hard to answer this question all the time because so many people ask me this in person also. I get my ideas from everywhere. You know, when they see something funny and they'll be like, oh my god, that'll be so funny on a t-shirt, or like that would be perfect on a sweatshirt. That happens to me a lot when I'm scrolling through Pinterest, when I'm just looking at pictures that people I follow post. I come up with color palettes that I just think make sense in my head. It comes from a lot of different things, but I really try to stick with what's trending right now. For example, I'll just talk about my 1-year drop that's coming up at the end of this month in January. So I knew that for my 1 year, which is January 31st, if you guys want to put that in your calendar, I wanted it to be all pink. I wanted it to be pink, girly, lace, doing candles, so I wanted like pink candles that smell really girly, makeup bags that are just like super cute, put bows and things, and really make it like Nahnah's brand with the lips, the XO, and just that was just kind of my vision for it. And it just so happens, you know, at the end of January, it's right before Valentine's Day, just like one of those marketing things where people buy things for like that season or like that holiday that are coming up. So it was kind of perfect that I was able to match that, then it just kind of like snowballs from there. I don't know, once you get an idea and then you start thinking more about things, you're able to just lay off of it in different ways. And when you consult other people about it, you know, you ask your friends, your family, do you like this? Are you kind of into this? Do you get the vibe? Do you get the vision? And then they'll put their 2 cents into it. So it's just kind of like a lot of moving parts when I'm coming up with these ideas, but they usually all just perfectly come together with the way I envision it. And the next couple questions are from my boyfriend. What is the hardest item to make, your favorite item to make, and the most fun item to make? I would say the hardest items to make are really just like any sweatshirt that is like a bigger size, just because my heat press is a certain size, so the bigger sweatshirts are a lot more bulky and they're harder to kind of fit under the heat press. Or if I'm peeling vinyl, and anything with foil vinyl, that is always such a pain to do, because weeding that vinyl is just so delicate that sometimes if you're not gentle enough, you can really just like rip up the whole entire design. So you have to like be careful with that. I would say my favorite item to make right now is anything that has to do with me sewing. So I love making the tote bags that I just, well, they haven't come out yet, but the tote bags that I'm coming out with, I am obsessed with making them. And the makeup bags that I have on my site, I love just like sitting there and putting on my favorite show, relaxing, and just sewing something together. Something that I like created out of nothing and just like a piece of fabric put together. I love that right now. And then I would say that kind of goes with the most fun item to make. I think I would combine that into most fun and favorite right now would be anything that had to do with the sewing. And then the next question from him was, what has been your favorite moment since you started Nahnah's? My absolute favorite moment, there's so many favorites, but I would say when I went to Red Bank for a street fair, that was probably the most, I don't want to say like life-changing, but almost in a sense like a life-changing. It was the first time where I was just selling out of things. People were buying so many different items that I make in my shop. It was just the first time where I felt like I was interacting with so many different people, and there was such a variety of things that people were liking. It kind of helped me because I felt like at that time I really started to question a little bit, because the only things that were really selling the most out of was the RBF hoodies. Obviously those are just always my biggest sellers. Then the customizable state crew necks, and when I go to events I really only just make them for New Jersey because that's where I am. It just touched me a lot that people were liking the coffee hoodies, lavender haze crew necks that I have, the salt sand and sunset, the daisy set, t-shirts, the teddy bear set. It was just a lot that was selling there that I didn't really previously make a lot of sales on. It was just really cool, and that was my first over $1,000 day. I actually vlogged it on my channel if you guys want to go look back at that. Anyway, that was probably my most favorite moment craft fair wise. So the next question is from my cousin Jess. What's your 2025 goal for Nahnah's? So I would say as a whole, because there's a lot of goals that I have personally for Nahnah's, but I would say to just grow. That would be my goal for 2025 for Nahnah's, is to just grow. And that could just be with followers in general, but the way that I envision this, and this will kind of go into like the next question too, but I want my brand or my store to feel like something that people want to join, if that makes sense. Like I want it to feel like you're part of this journey with me. I want to be a lot more intentional with my posting, put more time into social media posts and videos, things that get people interested in my business. Basically, just 2025, I want Nahnah's to just grow. Like I said, that question kind of goes into the next one. Where do you see yourself / Nahnah's in 5 years? Would you ever open an in-person shop? And that's for my friend Sarah. I would totally open an in-person shop. And I don't care where it is. It would definitely have to fit the aesthetic. I would potentially do it if it was something that I could make a living off of, or it's big enough and popular enough that I could hire people to work at that store while I have a day job or something like that. I would definitely see myself doing bigger, more long-term events, doing like small term leases at places. I definitely could see myself doing more pop-up shops, and you know, maybe eventually in the next 5 years I could have a store. I don't know, but But that only happens though if I keep doing what I'm doing now and just escalate it. So we'll see what happens though. It would be kind of exciting to look back on this video in 5 years and see if I even quit doing nahnahs or if I'm still doing it, where it's at. But yeah, so that is all the questions that I have. And if you guys have any more questions, please comment them down below. I would love talking to people. I love talking to everyone who reaches out to me. I just wanted to thank everyone. If you just joined me watching this video now, or if you've watched me since my first video a couple months ago on YouTube, but just in general, this past year has been so fun and so rewarding. I just couldn't imagine this is like where I've gotten to at this point, just from looking back where I was a year ago today. You know, I only have 380 something followers on Instagram, and I always look at that number. I'm like, oh, that's not where like I see other small businesses at. Like, I feel like that's so small. But really taking a step back, 300 and something, almost 400 people have decided to follow me and follow along my journey. Like my pictures, like my TikToks, even just like favorite things on my Etsy shop, send me a really nice message. There's just so many people that have even reached in person at in-person events, and it's just really fun and a really cool experience that I just never thought I was gonna get into. So you are one of those people that have been here and who are here right now following me and supporting me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because if I didn't have followers or anyone paying attention to what I'm doing, I wouldn't be still doing this a year later. So I'm just really excited to see where we're gonna go, and I'm so excited for this 1 year drop. I think you guys are really going to love it. I've worked so hard on this and everything is just coming out so cute. I will see you guys in my next video and hope to see you soon. Bye.